The role of universities in driving research and innovation on the continent is in the spotlight. This comes on the back of World Creativity and Innovation Day, which was celebrated this month. Professor Sibusiso Moyo from Stellenbosch University says there's a need to come up with new solutions to the many challenges facing Africa. Professor Moyo joins us now for more on this. Professor Moyo, very good afternoon. Appreciate your time today. In what ways do creativity and innovation contribute to economic development and societal advancement?
Good afternoon, and thank you so much for the invitation. So yes, as you know, universities are involved in training, our students and researchers. And so in terms of innovation and creativity, it's in terms of really trying to deal with the issues and problems that we have in our communities, and whether that is in the health sector, in terms of the service delivery, in terms of solutions that people can come up with. So researchers on a daily basis deal with these problems to try and find solutions to them. Some of these solutions can be in terms of services, products that people can do, or improvements to the current issues that we may face. So our role really is in the training of students, and people come to the university so that they can have these skills to contribute in a meaningful way, to improve our societies and the socio-economic part of the economy as well.
So what actually drives innovation in a particular direction, or certainly the research and creativity that would go around it? So, for instance, if we take a look at the electricity challenges, the electricity minister said, I think only yesterday or the day before, that this is a grand time for innovation and creativity around the problem that we have of electricity. So there would be an expectation that individuals in a university, scientists, and those that are innovative and creative are working towards this.
So that's a very good example you give. I mean, it's a current challenge we face. And so, when we set our research agenda in universities, we do look at the priorities, government priorities, what is needed in our economy. At Stellenbosch University, for example, we do have, groups that are working in the energy area, trying to find solutions, but these obviously are done in collaboration with ESCOM, the South African National Energy Institute as well, and the Department of Science and Innovation, so they invest in the research and also this research. So it's not just research which is done in terms of, for purposes of just getting a degree. The problem is defined based on a real issue that we are facing, and then trying to find solutions for those issues. So we know that, there are many alternatives in terms of renewable energy, but trying to find, what is the most efficient way of doing that. And then when you talk about, South Africa at large, there are many communities that may not have access to the basic services. So it's about also scaling, how you can scale that, across the economy so that, people can benefit. And of course, that in itself can also help generate jobs. So we have people who are working in these areas. But I know that as universities, together with government, we can do more if we have a collaborate and have a common agenda with practical solutions that can help to address key issues, especially in the energy sector as well. Thank you.
Professor Moyo, that kind of comes to my next question when we talk about collaboration with government. So let me break it down in two parts. And I suppose the first part is the amount of research that you carry out or that universities carry out is likely to involve huge amounts of money because of the amount of time and work that goes into it. Now, again, coming back to the electricity minister who suggests that now is a prime time for universities and other innovative individuals to come up with solutions, the question arises, does the government give enough support to universities in their quest to find solutions to the challenges that a country such as ours might be having?
Thank you so much for that question. So you know that as public universities, we are funded via the Department of Higher Education and Training. And of course, over the last few years, one could argue that the amounts that go into research and development are probably not adequate, for us to scale up in terms of finding solutions. But I think that when you look at the challenges we face, I don't think government on its own would be able to actually solve these, for the whole country. The industry partners, business partners, the universities, need to come together in order to invest in solutions. There are examples in terms of, small-scale sort of projects where you can see that, well, these solutions can work. But I think where we are right now is about scaling so that, the larger population of our country can benefit from that. So we know that, yes, there are solutions, and it's not, I think for us as universities, what's important again is to think about, we import a lot of the technology, but importing technology on its own is not sufficient, and it's also not sustainable. So you really want to train people locally so that they are able to also, design and also implement those solutions as well as maintain them. The key is that if you import something, you can implement it, but once you've done that, if people are not trained to maintain those, whatever infrastructure you put in place, we end up exactly where we are right now. So I think that it's not just government. Yes, the investment in terms of research and development can be improved so that we are able to work on key challenges, especially the renewable energy one, water, climate change is the key area. There's the data science and computational, science as well, which is also key, to make us move in the right direction. So all of those do need investment, but everybody else needs to come together. The business people, the government, the institutions that are training, not just universities, but also the technical vocational institutes as well, the TVET sector as well.
Well, let's talk about some of the challenges facing African universities in terms of promoting creativity and innovation. And how can these challenges be overcome?
Yeah, so I think if one needs to look at the basic ingredients, you need the right people, of course, with the right skills to be in the right places. That's the first thing you need. So our biggest challenge is probably around getting enough people going into the science, technology, engineering, maths, and STEM areas in large. So because for us to deal with the design part, the innovation part, especially in engineering and the science areas, we do need people who have the right skills and qualified and are doing well in the maths, science, and of course languages, the basic writing skills, because when they come to university, to enter the engineering and sciences, you do need to have a certain sort of skills which are needed for you to succeed and complete the degrees, and then later on go into research. So, when I look at our situation, it's really about trying to make sure we can fund as many students as possible, especially from the previously disadvantaged communities. Funding is the issue for most students. And then, of course, once they come to university, it's also the curriculum, which is key. I think inquiry-based teaching and learning methodologies, which are important. And unfortunately, most people in universities who become professors and so forth are usually trained in the same way. And we are really working hard trying to find ways in which we can help our students to innovate as well. We have great researchers, of course, who are working in the engineering and science sectors, but in order to help our students to become innovative, the teaching methodologies, the curriculum also needs to be able to help them to think, to look at a problem and try to find the best way, to find a solution. So all of these things play a key part. But again, nothing beats investment and making sure the infrastructure is there so that people can have time to think about what our real challenges are in the communities and in our country, in our environment, whatever that environment is, and trying to find and address those problems.
Well, you've talked about collaboration. Now, how can universities collaborate with business in particular, or certainly non-profits, to come up with solutions for some of the problems that we have on the continent?
So as we right now, universities do collaborate to some extent, but I still think that we can improve in this area. I mean, normally you'd have, agreements, which help universities to understand, what the issue is and how that issue can be dealt with. So you'll find that we do enter as universities into partnerships. But I still think what is key is setting an agenda at national level And then having that common agenda shared amongst all the universities and the industry partners, because you do need those quad helix partners to come together. That is your industry partners, government, the universities, and the communities, the NGOs and NPOs working in these areas. If I think about it in terms of, how you can do this, we normally have, like if you look at the South African context, I'll take that example. We do have now the white paper on science and technology and innovation for 2019 and the decadal plan, which has been approved. There's an agenda which we are expected to follow. On a global level, there's the Sustainable Development Goals, which also set an agenda on a global level. And then if you come to the province, for example, the Western Cape, whether it's KwaZulu-Natal, the provinces also have priorities. So the question is how to bring these priorities together. And you as a community member, you do know that the main priority now, for example, is the renewable energy part, the energy sector, which is a big thing for everyone. And water, of course, is also like another challenge in some areas as well. Access to services is also a challenge, and people also spend a lot of time, for example, queuing for common services, which could be addressed also through automation, digitization. Most of those services where people are waiting for licenses, queuing, leaving work just to go and queue up for things. It's all of those things which need us to pay attention to, because that helps to improve the livelihoods of the people. So in celebrating the World Creativity Day, it's really trying to articulate the purpose of why are universities there, what should we be doing, how can we come together to deal with these problems. I don't think that our government, for example, our governments within the African context are taking advantage of the resources that are in universities that can help to solve those challenges. And so coming together is not an issue. It's really creating platforms where people can come and meet and, set up an agenda. We have great examples in this area with our local, Department of Science and Innovation, the National Research Foundation, the Medical Research Council, where we are dealing with the key issues. And I think if you look at the biggest example where we made a lot of progress in these areas, when we're dealing with COVID-19, you could see how many, partners came together in order to, try to deal with that challenge. So it's not something which is imaginary, but it is something which can be strengthened so that we build on that to find solutions.
Professor Moyo speaking to us from Stellenbosch University. Appreciate your time this afternoon in that conversation around innovation as we celebrated World Innovation Day on April 21st. Well,